Hey, yeah. So today I'm asking people to sign a petition to legalize animal cruelty.
To legalize animal
Yeah.
cruelty?
Are you on board with legalizing animal cruelty, or are you one of those people who's opposed to animal cruelty?
I'm pretty opposed to animal cruelty, yeah.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how opposed to animal cruelty would you say you are?
10 being the highest.
Yeah, 10 being absolutely opposed to animal cruelty.
I mean, if I had to put a number on it, maybe like an 8.59, but it's
Okay.
kind of hard because I've always thought about like the biological. Yeah, cruelty, I'm against.
Yeah, right.
I'm just like taking life.
Yeah.
I'm also against, but I can understand people, feeding themselves.
Yeah.
And supporting themselves.
If there's necessity, yeah.
If there's a necessity,
Yeah.
but I don't think cruelty is ever needed.
Right. Okay. And what industries do you think cause the most animal cruelty?
All of them. Like I know fast food's pretty shit for it.
Right.
I imagine agriculture's pretty bad. I imagine in New Zealand it's a lot of like the dairy and
Right.
sheep farming. I don't know. I've seen videos of like everything getting abused.
Yeah. So we'll start with food: meat, dairy, eggs, honey,
Yeah,
fish.
yeah.
We'll go to clothing: wool, leather, down, fur.
So basically
Right.
everything so far.
Animal testing for cosmetics, for pharmaceuticals. Right. So now, again, if there's necessity, there's necessity. But if someone says they're 8.5 out of 10 opposed to animal cruelty, and they're making choices to consume products from industries that rely on animal culture,
That's
how would that
such a
make
good
sense?
Yeah, that is such a good point, bro.
So from where you're at now, if you're not vegan, then there's kind of 3 paths forward. And basically say, okay, I need to change my actions to align that with my values. Or I need to reassess my values, because maybe I value a cheeseburger more than I'm opposed to animal cruelty. Or the third option is basically say, I'm a hypocrite. I like to say that I'm really opposed to animal cruelty, but I'm acting in ways that actually support animal cruelty.
Yeah.
So which one of those 3 options do you think is the best path forward for you?
I would love to align my actions more. I don't eat meat. I do eat eggs
Right.
and honey and not milk.
So you're vegetarian?
I'm vegetarian.
Okay. So you were raised vegetarian, or that was a choice that you made?
Well, half the time at my mum's we'd never ate meat.
Okay.
My dad's we would, but it was
Okay.
all home killed.
Right.
Home killed.
That's how I was raised with a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're at a point where you're choosing to maintain a vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's aligned with your values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So understanding what happens to cows in the dairy industry, understanding what happens to chickens in the egg industry, don't you think you're undermining your own values by not being vegan?
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. Like, what's your standpoint on, say, like, free-range organic eggs, for say, because you're still taking from chickens?
Well, again, so even in free-range organic industries, the male chicks don't lay eggs. The male chicks are a waste product to those industries.
Yeah.
The male chicks are thrown into the same grinder as male chicks in the conventional egg industry.
Right.
And just like the conventional egg industry, when those female chicks they're about 18 months old, the egg production slows down. They're no longer economically viable to maintain as egg-laying chicks.
Yeah.
They get sent off to the slaughterhouse to get turned into nuggets and chicken soup. So, regardless of whether it's humane or organic or free range or any of those labels that make you feel good about it, all of those animals are killed in the end.
Yeah.
All those animals are bred into a hellish existence.
Yeah.
And if you think about all those labels, so the humane and the free range and the organic, and you buy the products and there's a happy chicken on a happy field next to a happy barn, right? Think about it. Is that something that reflects the conditions the animals are raised under, or is that marketing to make you feel good about consuming those products?
I've definitely heard a lot of the free range aren't that free range.
Yeah.
products.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are just raised in, most of them are just raised in sheds where we've got 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 chickens, maybe 100,000 chickens in a shed. They've got,
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So, so the chickens are raised in these huge barns, and then they've got like little holes in the side of the wall that open up for a few hours in the day.
Yeah.
They've got access to the outside. So maybe a few dozen chickens go outside during the day for a few hours. They peck at the grass, and then they go back in the shed at night. But most of those chickens never see sunlight until they get on a truck to the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like
They're raised in conditions that, I mean, I don't know if you're into horror movies, but think of like the most disturbing horror movie that you've ever seen. they're raised in conditions that are worse than that. You know, the conditions that they're raised in, honestly, they can't portray that in horror movies because it would be like no one would enjoy watching it.
Yeah, it's pretty atrocious.
Yeah.
So when you say you're signing to get animal cruelty,
Yeah.
is that just to align people's values?
That's just to get conversations started. Yeah.
So you're actually not trying to force animal cruelty?
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to start conversations with people
yeah.
because most people are opposed to animal cruelty.
Yeah.
When you get down to it,
yeah.
and then, okay, what do we do about that?
Yeah, because I mean, it's as aware as you can be, it's quite hard.
Yeah.
For me personally, to live in a city, to live in any kind of like mainstream system, and I'm buying clothes, like you say,
Right.
and like I am still getting eggs,
Yeah.
and all of that.
And even if you had backyard eggs, you know, let's say you had two or three roosters in the backyard, or 2 or 3 hens in the backyard. All right, how many roosters would you have?
Probably one.
All right, what would happen? So,
Oh, okay, yeah. So Dad has had a few chickens before.
Yeah.
Well, he has quite a few all the time actually. He lives, I don't know, up to about 20 in a rooster. Sometimes they grow old and die, sometimes they sometimes they
right.
killed. Yeah.
But you never have as many roosters as hens.
No.
So the roosters are always killed young because you just can't have that many roosters running around.
Yeah.
You know, they'll attack each other, they'll attack people, they get territorial.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you know, if you have the chickens for eggs, what happens once the eggs slow down?
Yeah. I mean, if it's
Even if they're in the backyard.
yeah.
Even if you're taking care of them as well as you'd think you'd take care of them.
Yeah. Then still usually going to be killed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you interested? Well, from where you are now, what do you think the barriers are to waking up tomorrow morning and saying, "Okay, that's it. I'm going vegan. I'm not going to be the reason why any animal suffers anymore."
I mean, I believe in self-agency, so I'd say the biggest barrier is just myself.
Just educating on how to make those changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, making viable and healthy options to support myself and my body.
Okay.
To do that.
Good. Good. Would you be interested in resources to help you make those steps and make those changes? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you this, and that'll give you a lot of support and resources on how to make those changes.
Yeah.
And then, then you don't have to be the reason why animals suffer anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard because so many things annoy me. So just take like the financial system of the world.
Yeah.
And it seems like you need systematic change because not everyone's in a situation where they can, you know, make the change.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, most people can afford beans and rice.
Yeah.
But for some, if you want to talk about like, you know, food deserts where people just have KFC and McDonald's and stuff like that, then it's other people pushing, the people who can afford to make those changes, to push those changes. Then when KFC and McDonald's and whatnot, when they offer all the vegan options, then that helps make it accessible to people who otherwise don't have better choices. Yeah. And then also, if you want to talk about people who are in third world countries and don't have access to clean food, clean water, all those things, again, it's animal agriculture is driving that. So when you make choices to eat lower on the food chain, you're helping other people have access to clean water. You're helping other people have access to food resources that would otherwise be exported as animal feed, so people in rich countries could eat steak.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
It's like change always starts with a few people.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So people make change, governments make policy.
Yeah.
You know, you know, you got to be the change you want to see in the world.
That's true. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're vegan?
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, I don't know, like, it's kind of selfish after talking about this, but I really like eggs. And it's like probably like eggs and occasionally honey.
Right.
And it's honestly like about it I can think of, but I can assume it's animal products, but like I'd miss them.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would switch for my breakfast.
Okay. So like what kind of, so there's, what kind of egg dishes do you normally eat?
I usually just go poached eggs, like avocado and toast kind of thing.
Okay. Not sure about poached eggs, but I know you can definitely do scrambles. You can definitely you can even do omelets and stuff.
Substitute.
Yeah. So the best place to go for that is go to YouTube and type in vegan omelet recipe or vegan scramble recipe. Yeah. You're going to come up with hundreds and thousands of how to do it and how to do it cheap, how to do it quick, how to do it on a student hall. You're going to find all the different ways to do it. Easiest way to do it is just, are you familiar with black salt?
No.
Okay, so if you go to most Indian grocery stores, and just ask for black salt, you'll find a bag of that. And that is kind of like the secret ingredient to turning tofu into tofu scramble.
Right. Okay.
That's like,
Yeah, cool.
you do that and then you just chop up some veggies, some mushrooms, whatever.
Because tofu's awesome.
Yeah. But again, like I said, YouTube, just go to YouTube, whatever recipe you want to make vegan, just type in the name of the dish, vegan, and recipe, and you're gonna have too much to pick from.
Yeah.
Now with the honey, let's see. So
I mean, honey doesn't even bother me. I hardly even have it.
Okay.
It's just like one of the
Yeah.
things that I do use.
yeah. So honey is basically, it's a glucose fructose syrup. Chemically, it's a glucose fructose syrup with tiny little bits of pollen, tiny little bits of pollutants from the air, tiny little bits of dead bees. That's, what gives it the flavors. So chemically, if you get back down to a glucose fructose syrup, golden syrup is chemically the same thing, and it's made the same way, just at larger scale. So basically, bees, they take the nectar and they kind of swish it around their mouth with the acid and the heat and the agitation. They spit it out, and that turns it into honey. The golden syrup, same thing. They take its byproduct from manufacturing cane sugar into powdered sugar. And again, they're taking the sugar, a little bit of food acid, so like it might be a citric acid or something, agitation, heat, they mix it up, and that turns it into a chemically kind of the same as honey. Health-wise, it's a processed sugar, it's not a health food. It's just as good or bad as agave syrup and corn syrup and rice syrup and all the other honey substitutes. No, none of them are healthy. Most, but like again, they are what they are. They're vegan alternatives to honey.
That's the only other thing I'm kind of curious about is just like nutritional values and getting all the things that your body needs. Because I feel like there's a lot out there, but I feel like it's also easy to like, not pick the right things.
So your average vegan diet, from your average vegan who's not thinking about nutrition, you've got 3 or 4 common nutrients that they might run into trouble with. On your average non-vegan meat eater diet, you've got those and another 3 or 4 nutrients that people tend to not get enough of. So all things considered, you're good. Your average vegan is going to consume about twice as much iron as your average non-vegan.
Okay. Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, and if you look at protein, and again, just your average person who's not paying attention to any of this. So the other big one is protein. If you took an average meat eater diet and took out the meat, took out all the animal products even, they would still get more than enough protein just from the burger bun, just from the salad, just from the fries and the everything else. So if you look at actual diets, your average meat eater gets about twice as much protein as they need. Your average vegetarian gets twice as much protein as they need. Your average vegan gets twice as much protein as they need.
Right.
You'd actually have to put a lot of effort into having a vegan diet that doesn't get enough protein or even enough iron.
Things like tofu and things.
Yeah.
Just that, right?
I'm loaded with protein, loaded with iron. There you go. And then you throw in some. Green vegetables. They're pretty much made out of iron and calcium.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'd love to sign that if it.
Okay. No, this is just get people talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, true.
So.
Yeah. Also, you do get people to sign animal cruelty.
There's people who sign. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say? We're like, I do. They stick with them. They support animal cruelty.
Some people are just like, I don't care about animals. I support animal cruelty. That's cool. Yesterday I was talking to, or a couple days ago, I was talking to a guy. He signed it, but then he's got him talking. He's like, wow, you really got me thinking.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of not thinking, a lot of lack of awareness. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Are you cool being on video?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. All right. Cheers.